An important date for dividend investors that I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with, and it's called the ex-dividend date. And I want to share with you an article I just read from Reuters this morning about how the ex-dividend date and what it can affect the actual stock price. In this case, they're talking about the Footsie, which I'll talk about here in just a second. So this is from Reuters, Dateline this morning at 5:08, and I read it probably 5:15 because I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning to do my research before I start doing these videos. All right, so the headline, ex-dividends to take 3 points off the Footsie 100 as of May 23rd. The following Footsie 100 companies, the Footsies is a Financial Times stock exchange index. So basically, it's the London Stock Exchange became the Financial Times Stock Exchange, and it represents the European version of the S&P 500, if you will. So this is essentially what the UK looks at for their version of the S&P 500. You would look at the Footsie kind of like your somewhat your developed international markets for sure. So the Footsie 100 companies will go ex-dividend on Thursday, after which investors will no longer qualify for the latest dividend payout. According to Reuters calculations, at current market prices, the effect of the resulting adjustment to prices would take 3 points off the index, and they give you a list of the different companies that are paying a dividend, which will go X on Thursday. All right, so when I first read that, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean investors won't qualify for the dividend? You know, if you own the shares, you get the dividend. I don't understand that. If you own the shares today, you get the dividend. That was weird. But anyway, what they're saying is if you invest, so it should be investors after the dividend day. That's what they're saying. You just got to think this through. So if you invest in the stock after Thursday, you don't get that dividend. And that's what you want to do if this is a non-IRA account, because what happens is they say exactly that the dividend is going to take 3 points off the Footsie come Friday, because the dividend goes X on Thursday and the dividend will be payable. Essentially, that's the date of record on Friday. Whoever owned it by the day before gets the dividend. And so anytime there's a dividend payout, the price of the stock drops by the amount of the dividend. So in an IRA, it's irrelevant. So an IRA, you buy, I don't know, let's just say, buy it at $10 a share. It pays a 10-cent dividend. The following day, you'll trade at $9.90 a share. Again, if we lived in a vacuum, the market will adjust according to that day, but just for simplicity, you buy it at 10, it pays a 10-cent dividend. The next day is at $9.90. Does that mean you lost money? No, because you have that 10-cent dividend. You either have it as cash or you reinvest it in the shares. So you have more shares at a lower value if you reinvest it, or you have the same amount of shares at a lower value, but $10 in cash on the side account. Either way, you are no worse for the wear. You're just not. It's completely irrelevant to you. A non-IRA is the same thing, absolutely, except the fact when it comes tax time, that 10-cent per share dividend, you will have to pay tax on it. So from a position of just how many shares you own relative to the price, you're still even. You're still even, Steven. No big deal. But when the tax time comes, you will have a taxable event of the dividend that you had to pay. And so if you had 100 shares at 10 cents a share, and it paid, 100 shares and it paid a dividend of 10 cents a share, you will have to pay tax on that $10 of dividends that you received. Does that make sense? It's a net wash before taxes. It's not a net wash after taxes, which is why we always say don't buy the dividend. So if you're going to buy the stocks, you want to wait until Friday, which is when you will no longer qualify for the dividend. I hope that makes sense. It's a big deal. Many, how many people buy the dividend? It's stupid. Don't do it. Again, if it's in an IRA, it doesn't matter because you're not paying any taxes until you pull the money out, and then it all comes out as ordinary income anyway. If it's a non-IRA and you're going to get ready to buy Carnival, they're getting ready to pay 50 cents a share, it's going to reduce the share price by 0.25%. It says it right there. So that's a big deal, man. You just lost 0.25% on a 50-cent Carnival. And that, again, it's a wash relative to your overall position in Carnival, but it's not a wash when it comes to taxes. You will have to pay 50 cents taxes on 50 cents a share come time to fill the tax man and make the tax man whole. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, so just remember, don't buy the dividend. Don't buy the dividend. Don't buy the dividend. Wait until the following day. I think it's a date of record. All right. You don't want to buy it on the ex-dividend day. Wait till the following day. All right. Hope this helps. See ya.